Hey guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. I greatly appreciate them. This is the daily forecast for all signs. It is originally created for Wednesday, March 15th. It is not set solely for that date. If you're seeing it on a different date, but it makes sense to your situation, by all means use it. I do believe readings can be timeless. It is a broad spectrum reading, meaning it's for the collective, it's for everyone. So each one of you, I'm going to speak in broad terms. You may be experiencing this around something different. You have to figure out if and where it applies in your life. If it doesn't apply or doesn't seem to make sense and you're watching the video, don't worry, that doesn't mean anything's broken or wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. You just might be working on something different at this time. So keep that in mind yourself. If you're new to the channel, please check out the drop-down menu underneath any of my daily or weekly videos. In there is just some housekeeping information I want you to know about, what decks I'm using at the time of the video, how to follow me on Instagram or at my Facebook business page to request a private reading. Know that I will not request or solicit you to sell you a reading ever, so you have to reach out to me first. And then simple ways to support the channel. You can do that by hitting that thumbs up button, subscribing to the channel if you feel so inclined. I'd love to have you every day. I do put up daily content. And sharing the video out or leaving me a question or comment. I do read all of those. When they do come in, and I love them. They're great. So thank you for those of you that do comment. All right, so let's get into this energy and see what's going on. I will be referring back to... sorry if I'm a little, I have to say, I'm going to be honest, I woke up really anxious this morning. I went to bed super early last night, woke up really anxious. I was trying to shake the anxiousness before shooting this, and I seem to still be feeling it. I don't know if anybody else is feeling it, so you guys can let me know if that's the case for you. Maybe I'm validating somebody with that. But I will be referring back to the Sunday underpinning reading, which populates in the lower left-hand corner of this video at the end. So you can watch that if you hear me talking about cards you don't see in this reading. Okay, so let's get into this. Sorry, guys. I feel like really a little bit, not bad, just anxious, and I can't figure out why. It's really weird. So let's see what the card is for today. Okay, it's the Nine of Inspiration, so that would make sense. Nine of Inspiration is the Nine of Wands. It's a beautiful card. The Nine of Wands is about sort of working, I always see it as working smarter, not harder. You know, it's kind of like the Wounded Warrior in a traditional tarot deck. Here, I feel like she's actually standing on her own two legs. She doesn't look embittered like you normally see in a traditional Nine of Wands. I feel like there's a truth, a spiritual truth that we're standing in today. And the reason why I said, oh, this makes sense earlier is I thought it was Nine of Swords because there's different names on these decks. And it's not the Nine of Swords because the Nine of Swords would indicate anxiety or things like that. But this is the Nine of Wands. We've seen the Eight of Cups a couple of times this week, and the Sunday underpinning, because this is now Wednesday, we should be reaching that third card, which is the Eight of Pentacles. There's a truth here that we've been working towards or working on. We've maybe been learning the lessons, let's say, in a difficult manner, because that would be the Nine of Wands influence, but we've gotten beyond it. Definitely with the Nine of Wands, it's about personal completion and being done with the situation, maybe being a bit battered, maybe being a bit, I don't want to say damaged, but hurt by whatever went down or whatever we went through or whatever we learned, but ultimately we learned and we're not dead yet kind of thing. You know, it's kind of got that energy to it. But with this particular card and the way that the design is set up, she's like flourishing, if that makes sense. It's the way that her dress is swirling around her. It's the way that she stands between those two statues. That says to me that she's beyond sort of like the test, the mountaintops behind her. She's walked through the valley of I don't know, no reprieve or whatever you want to title your situation that you've just come through. But I get this really good feeling from her that instead of being so much focused on embattered or like hurt by the situation or where we were wounded, I get this feeling like we're standing in our strength from her, in our beauty, in our intelligence, in our wisdom. I also get the feeling that, you know, she looks very solitary to me, and it's interesting that she's starting out, she's in those desert sands that we saw in yesterday's Eight of Cups card. Um, I can't tell if she's coming to the end of her journey through that desert or just getting ready to begin a new journey through a new desert is my thing. And I think that some of you might be doing either or. Your Eight of Cups decision to walk away yesterday maybe has led to this independence that I sense in this Nine of Wands today. And it may mean that you've reached sort of a plateau or a decision within yourself that you kind of have to make. You're okay to make, you're even maybe proud to make it. There's a certain amount of pride I see in this girl. Like she, and that's some of the Nine of Wands energy too, is like, even though I've been to battle, I have not lost. Does that make sense? And so I feel that from her today, very powerfully. So for those of you that maybe feel tired, weary, even maybe a little anxious, just hang in there, hold tight is my feeling. You've gotten through the worst of it. You've learned a lot in the process. And what you've learned will show you or inform you intelligently, right? I also think that the Nine of Wands is a time or a card that indicates to us to listen to our higher selves if we can. If we can take that time to have that conversation and understand the information that's coming from our spirit, and allow that to sort of help to inform our decisions too after maybe a tough situation or a challenge that we face. Allow that to help us to move forward, right? Because whatever we have faced, whatever challenges we've come up against, they have not defeated us. And I just get this feeling she's almost ready for more. And that's where I can't tell if she's beginning her journey or ending her journey with the desert. I think some of you are just beginning and some of you are just ending. And do we really ever end the journey? I mean, even in death, we don't know yet, right? So take that as you may, I guess. I hope that makes sense to you guys. If it doesn't, leave me a question or comment. If it does, do the same. All right, let's look at the Miracles Now message and see what that has to say and where it pairs with this. When in doubt, I choose to see peace. That's sort of the independence that I feel in this card with her. She's very solitary. Like and we saw the Eight of Cups yesterday. I just feel like whatever decisions we're making right now, whatever we're looking at, whatever we're contemplating, it may not be the popular answer. It may even run the risk of being somewhat disruptive to others, but I'm going to say this. It's not disruptive to us. It's our truth, and others' needs, perceptions, desires, outcomes, they may produce that doubt within us, and we have to be strong in our own sense of self and our own awareness of what we need and what we need to be partaking in this week to find that inner peace to continue forward is kind of the feeling that I'm getting. She has it. I mean, that dress is just blowing my mind. It's just really beautiful. And she's like flourishing in almost the fire of the journey that she's been on, the experience that she's had. She's like embracing it and saying, yeah, you know what? I went through the trial. I went through the challenge and I'm better for it ultimately. She's almost got an acceptance or maybe even a gratitude, if we can find that, for the challenges that we face. when we find that, we can release that doubt, self-doubt, worry, maybe even some of my anxiety that I have this morning, and choose to find the peace in what's going on around us and in the decisions that we make. And also choose to make peaceful decisions for ourselves rather than, worrying about others. And I know that sounds maybe a little bit selfish, but sometimes we have to take care of ourselves first and foremost, or else we have nothing left to give others, right? So let's go to the clarifiers really quick. We have the Seven of Pentacles. Oh, and underpinning this from Sunday is the Eight of Pentacles, right? Which is the Artisan card. I wanted to speak about that too. It's about bringing our own special twist or work to this. And with this Nine of Wands, we're bringing our own special perspective, viewpoint, and we're grounding it into the work that we do today to move forward. And the reason why that made me think about this is because the Seven of Pentacles is also about contemplating a task, a job, a harvest, a situation. Is now the right time, right? With the attention, the love, the care that we've put in, really contemplating, instead of being in doubt, finding the peace, contemplating, is this really still the situation? Is this still the harvest I want? Is this where I'm going to still produce or put my attention, my energy? And I have a feeling some of you are shifting because of yesterday's Eight of Cups. Also, Eight of Cups will be coming in the end of the in the end of the week, underpin. There's this shift that's taking place. There's a contemplation that's taking place. There's a pause that's taking place as we assimilate the information and the challenges and become stronger to move forward. We have the Five of Swords. Oh, great. Yay, fun. And we have the Two of Swords. Okay. So, Swords is the air element. Feeds nicely off of this Nine of Wands. I'm just going to say that. The Five of Swords would indicate alienation, fighting, political battles, opinions, trying to win the fight, and maybe doing so but taking a loss in friendship or in relationships in the process. We can be the one taking the loss and feeling as though we won the battle, or someone else can be. But oftentimes fives are temporary. Let's just say that. I get the feeling from these clarifiers, like there's still this decision being made. With the Seven, it's like contemplation. The Five is like things aren't perfect. And the Two is like, no. It feels like there's this decision still being made by some of you to stand in your power. The Two of Wands can be about having boundaries. It doesn't necessarily have to be, not Two of Wands, Two of Swords can be about having boundaries. It does oftentimes signify a no or being at a crossroads. But the Moon there can also be about listening to our intuition and not allowing people to come across our boundaries. And with the Nine of Wands there, I feel like it could be about that for a lot of you. There is a certain amount of reflection going on here with the Seven and the Two there. But ultimately this reflection or ruminating, if it's causing doubt, do what the card says and choose to find peace within yourself and within the situation. When you do that, it enables you to let it go. And I feel like that's what's happening, is there's this major let go going on this week. Let's go to the grounding stone. And the grounding stone is just an energy that you need to ground in during this process, during the day. A reminder, the grounding stone from the Sunday reading for the week is focus. So maintaining our focus this week is key. And here we go. The word is laugh. So regardless of what we're facing, what choices we're making, how hard they may be, try and find some humor, some joy. I get this sense, like, honestly, when I look at these cards, I get this sense of we've got this. We need to relax and ease up a bit. There may be a little bit more worry or anxiety in some of you, like myself. And the situation is actually maybe better than we think it is. We may be doubtful of the situation and we need to find the peace within it. Let go of where the petty arguments are. You know, listen to ourselves, our internal intuition, and let that be the guide. And make our decisions accordingly, keeping our focus. Whatever we're facing, we can face it with that Nine of Wands there. I'm going to say that. She's very powerful. She doesn't look like the traditional Nine of Wands. He looks like he is been, you know, across the road and back. Like he looks pretty beat up. She looks more like she's giving me these like kind of come at me bro vibes. And so I do want to say we know what we know, if that makes sense internally. It's whether or not we're brave enough to be at peace with what we know and act on it and move forward. That's the key. All right, so that is your reading. I hope that made sense to whoever's watching. Please leave me a like, subscribe to the channel, leave me any questions or comments you may have. Even if the reading didn't make sense, you can tell me that. Remember to laugh at all of this because it will lighten the energy. And have a wonderful day. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow to see how this energy transforms. All right, take care. Bye-bye.